I don't know why that makes Brad laugh, but apparently it's funny. Hi, I'm Amber. Nice to meet / see all of you. Thank you for coming, spending your Wednesday evening listening to some readings. Super exciting. So the whole point of this is that I'm going to kind of talk for a little bit about kind of the emotional heart of where these pieces I'm going to share with you came from, and then I'm going to read them to you. And I have two. So the first one I'm going to talk about, and then we'll have a little interlude. I'll talk about the second one a bit, and then I'll read that one. So the first one is about, so when I'm from Indiana, I'm a Hoosier by birth, from a town called Belleville, Indiana. It's actually not even a town. It's like 150 people way out in Hendricks County, like past Plainfield, cornfield land. We don't even get counted in the census at all. We just get lumped in with the nearest like actual town. So really small, and grew up working class. My dad worked corrections, and my mom, she had lots of different jobs while I was growing up, but the main one that I remember was that she was a babysitter. So we would have like anywhere from a dozen or more kids in our house at any time during the school year or the summer, either before school, after school, all summer long. And it was really stressful for me because I am not the most personable person. I don't really like people. I especially don't like dozens of people in my house at the same time. I don't know if you guys share this feeling, but it was really hard for me. As a kid, before my siblings came along, I was left alone a lot, like a lot. My mom worked days, my dad worked nights, and there was no babysitter. So during the day, I was like 3 years old, and my dad would be asleep in the bedroom, and it would just be me by myself in our apartment, taking care of myself, watching myself. My parents kind of trusted that I wouldn't do anything too stupid, and they were right, but it wasn't the best way for someone intuitively as neurotic as I am to then be socialized. So then, on top of that, dumping like 12 kids into our house when I was 9 was really stressful for me. So the way that it worked was my mom had this board that she would write everyone's name on. It was a dry erase board, and at the end of the day, if your name didn't get erased from the board, you got to take this prize out of the box, right? They were amazing prizes. You could have like, I mean, she was going to the mall and buying like the bulk candy. You guys remember like the bulk candy store that you went in as a kid and you're like, oh my God, I want everything in here. Candy every place, and you know, there's like whole bags of chips in there, little toys and everything. And it was great, but our names, me and my two siblings, we didn't get to be on the board because we were the home kids, and then there were the babysitting kids that were the different kids. So all this animosity that I had like built up toward the babysitting kids was not helped by that situation in any way. So first of all, you're in my house, you're playing my PlayStation, you're taking my TV, you're taking my toys, it's really crazy. And then on top of that, you like get the candy and I don't. So it became my goal in life from ages like 9 to 13 to just like make these kids not get their prizes by like whatever means possible. Like, I'm just gonna make it so that you don't get to be on the board at the end of the day. And but I tried to be sneaky about it because even though my name was on the board, like at the end of the day, when everyone else went home, if I had been bad that day, there were still like negative repercussions. I just didn't get the prize if I wasn't bad. So it was kind of like the backs made of the pendulum, I guess you could call it. So yeah, there was this one kid, there were two siblings actually that we got to come to our house. Kind of made up new names for them. They're not here, clearly, but who knows, it's a small world. So we'll call them Holly and Lenny, which is very close to their real names, but I'm not gonna tell you their real names, as I just said. And so they were siblings, and it always seemed like a good fit. Like my mom did the right thing. She had the parents over with the kids and like interviewed them and had them come to our house and see if it was a good fit. And Holly's like my age, and Lenny's like my little brother's age, so maybe like 5 years younger than me. So it seemed like a really good fit. All right, we're gonna mesh well with the other kids. But like Lenny and I did not get along from the get-go. This kid, first of all, he was a ginger, all right, which I mean, not a good place to start. He looked like a little ferret. He had like measly little like nose and like no good, freckles everywhere. And he was just, I mean, this kid was crazy. And he could see that I was like a controlling, crazy bitch in the making, right? So like the other side of it was that it then became his goal to just irritate me as much as he possibly could he didn't care about whether or not he was on the board. So now we had this crossroads where my goal was to get him off the board, and he did not care if he was on the board or not. So then we began this like vendetta battle. So the first piece that I'm going to read to you is about Lenny and about one of these ways that he really like just started to torture me for like the sake of torture. But then in looking back on it as an adult, I've applied my like writerly analysis to it in its own way, and it's also about so there's been like this buzzword in the media lately, like rape culture, right? We're all talking about like how America has this like rape culture, and we're all these men are raised to just like think that it's okay to rape women or like whatever that means. Fine. I don't disagree with the fact that it exists, but I also have like some reactions to it from like a neutral point of view. Like I feel like our 24-hour news cycle and our culture and all these things that happen just teach us to think in these extremes. Like either you're in the rape culture or you're not, or you're good or you're bad, or it's yes or it's no, and there is no like encouragement to take time to think for yourself or analyze like if shades of gray exist in that spectrum. And so what this piece is about trying to figure out like both how Lenny's habits were a little bit disturbing and how maybe they could be seen as being completely normal. So without further ado,